And just like that, the case of the Hound of the Baskervilles is officially closed. Oh, and how elementary it was. I remember it just like it was yesterday. Holmes, we have a problem. It appears that there was a murder at the Clue mansion yesterday, and poor Jeeves the butler was found dead late last night. I just know that it has to have been the maid, as she was always fussing and fighting with him. Oh, Watson, it is a capital offence to theorise when one does not have the data. You must look at the evidence that is right in front of us. It's elementary, my dear Watson. Sorry, Holmes. I just happen to get so excited whenever we have a load of new cases on our hand, and we're going to need some outside assistance. Well, the game is most certainly afoot, Watson. Now, I know we are going to need all the help that we can get. However, how are we going to get the right recruits? Curiouser and curiouser. Oh! Look, I forgot you were here. I know you're just an intern, but it's time to lace up your boots and hit the ground running. We have a mystery to solve after all. And remember, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Well, hello, old chaps. Are you ready for Readathon? Alright, friends, if you don't know who I am, my name's Rainy from Rainy Blue Reads. I primarily read fantasy romance, but if you're interested in that, please like and subscribe to my channel down below. Although you should stick around anyway, because if you didn't see the intro already, we have a very exciting Readathon coming in February. And it is Clue, Get a Clue 2.0, okay? Now, the first time I ran this was in November of 2023, and then I skipped November of 2024 because a lot of my co-hosts couldn't come back because of the timing of the year. And so we pushed it to February. And I will say, it is bigger, it is better than ever before. There are new parts of it, there are twists, there are turns, there are many things to uncover. And we have a lot to unpack to explain this readathon. So, I have my notes, I'm sat, I'm ready, so get ready with me and let's talk all about how Get a Clue is going to work. Don't mind me as I try to adjust this hat on my head. It doesn't actually fit because I have a giant head. I've always had that problem. Okay? The goal of the Get a Clue Readathon is to correctly solve the murder of Clue Manor. Poor Jeeves, the butler, I must say. You have to figure out the suspect, the weapon, and the room. How do you do that? By reading books to get clues. The readathon is going to take place the entire month of February. I do know that it is a shorter month, which is why I'm saying that you can officially start reading books for the readathon on Friday, January 31st at noon EST, but you cannot actually log a book until midnight EST on February 1st, but I'm letting you have a 12-hour head start. This readathon will be taking place primarily over Discord. That's where all the prompts are going to drop and all of the things. So if you don't join, you're not going to know when prompts are dropping. You're not going to know what books you're going to have to read. You're not going to know what place your team is in. There's really not a way of participating. Well, there is, which we'll get to in a minute, but it's going to be hard, okay? So I would suggest you join the Discord. All of the information that you could possibly need and more, like graphics, merch, all the things are going to be underneath this video in the description. So make sure to check that out before you close out this window, or else you're going to find yourself back here very soon and getting to see the wonderful stylings of Sherlock Holmes and Watson again. As this readathon works, there are going to be 6 teams. They correspond with the 6 main characters that we know. There are 2 co-hosts per team, and this year there are 3 lead detectives, which you will find about soon enough. But let's talk about the teams and the co-hosts, right? Starting off with Colonel Mustard, we have Nell from Nell Diamond and Courtney from Tangible Reads. Then leading up Miss Scarlet's team, we have Bree from The Book Travert and Neva from Reading with Neva. Holding up Miss Peacock is Danni from Danni Dabbles and Kirsten from The Reading Nymph. Then we have Mr. Green with our returning veteran green one, Meredith from Bin Chicken Books, and Leandra from the TBR Zero. Then for Professor Plum this year, we have Vanessa from Reads with Dr. B and Brooklyn from Brooklyn Reads. And last but not least with Mrs. White, we have Laura from The Book Hermit and Amy from Amy's Bookish Life. Now, if you're like, wait a minute, there are some names missing. There are 3 lead detectives this year, and those are Katy from I Would Rather Be Reading, Kelsea from Reads with Kelsey, and Julie from Keep Calm with Books and Coffee. Okay, they are going to be your floaters, your lead detectives this year. Each round they are going to help a team. It's going to be quite random to them as to what team they're helping, and all of the points that they acquire in that round will go towards that team. And let's just say, they're also cooking up a lot of mystery and deceit with me. Because as for secret passageways this year, let's just say the lead detectives are in charge of that. Insert evil laugh here. Oh, I wasn't supposed to read that. I'm sorry. Proceeding. Now, this is the most important part. The biggest rule that has changed this year. I'm going to put the pipe down. There are 2 modes in this competition this year. 2. Count them with me. 2. There is the junior detective mode and the senior detective mode. Thank you, Nancy Drew Games, for giving me these ideas. Now, before I explain the modes, please note, if you choose junior detective and you later wish to switch to senior detective, you can, but you're going to be starting at room number 1 no matter what room we're on. Like if we're in room number 5, you're in room number 1. That'll all make sense in a minute. If you choose senior detective and you later switch to junior detective, you can, but then you're stuck. So you get 1 switch per team. So if you want to go from junior to senior, you can. You want to go from senior to junior, you can. But what you cannot do is flip-flop back and forth depending on the prompt, being like, oh, I don't really want to read a book for this prompt. I'm going to go back to junior. And then as soon as a prompt that you like is available, go, okay, I'm going to switch back to senior. That's not flying. I'll be able to tell that you're doing that by the submissions on the Google form. So don't mess around, friends. Now let's actually talk about what these modes are. So junior detective mode is literally the read at your own pace option. This is for my non-competitive girls and guys, meaning instead of having to keep up with all of the room prompts, you can read whatever books you want, whenever you want during the month, and the books that you read will ultimately help your team's end of month cumulative score. This way you can still participate, you can still be on a team and support them without the fear of falling behind in all of the room prompts. And there will be a junior detective submission channel in the Discord where you will submit all of the books that you read during the readathon. So if you're like, I'm not really big on competitive readathons, but I always love the community aspect of it all, then come join and be a junior detective. Now, if you are participating in junior detective mode, that's really the end of the video for you. The rest is not going to help you. Like I said, all of the information is underneath this video. You are welcome to just click out and go join the Discord and get on your merry way. But if you're looking for some friendly competition and high stakes, enter senior detective mode. Put on your big boy glasses, get your pipe, get your magnifying glass, and let's get into it. I did add some things new to this year for the competition. Each team is going to start by receiving 2 clues that you are going to have in your deck before the first room even drops. It was randomized by a spinner wheel as to which clues you are receiving. What you will be using this deck for will be revealed in just a second. Now, there are 9 rooms in the game, just like there are in Clue. Each room has a reading prompt attached to it. These are the rooms: the study, the hall, the lounge, the dining room, the kitchen, the ballroom, the conservatory, the billiard room, and the library. The prompts for each room are a secret, much like if you've done the amazing readathon. It's the same in that. Only I, your host, knows what they are. Not even my lead detectives know. Now, there will be 9 rounds, 1 for each room. The rounds are going to drop at random times throughout the month. I will drop them at different times throughout the day in order to accommodate our international friends so that it's not always happening when they're asleep in the middle of the night, especially because some of my co-hosts are in the UK and Australia and whatnot. Now, each team is going to be in the same room at the same time. I changed that this year in order to allow for community building and make it easier to share about what you're reading about in reading vlogs and sprints and all the whatnot. And you don't have to be quite so secretive. I think it'll be better in the community building aspect. So we will all be in the same rooms every time. Now, at the end of each round, when the next set of rooms is unlocked and the next prompt is dropped, your team's Discord channel will receive a video in it with a clue. I will reveal a card of either a character, a weapon, or a room, just like the game clue for you to mark off of your investigation sheet, which I will provide in all of the graphics in the Discord. Please do not share these clues with other teams, as clues might vary and you will give other teams advantages in solving the mystery by sharing. And this is the thing to note. You may not move to the next room and the next prompt until you complete the prompt for the room you are currently in. You cannot submit additional book prompts either until you've completed the main prompt for the room you are in. And we will talk about additional prompts in just a second. However, at the end of each prompt and each round, whatever team is in first place, just like last year, will receive an additional video inside of their team's Discord channel with an additional clue. But your team will first receive a poll asking whether you want a person, a weapon, or a room clue revealed. And that poll will only be open for 3 hours after I post it. After the 3 hours are up, I'll drop a video for whatever item your team chose to reveal. This will give your team a bonus, so it's really important to try to stay on track with the rooms unlocking and the new prompts dropping so that you can get those extra clues. On the very first night of the readathon, I will roll a 9-sided dice to determine which room everyone will be starting in, as we are all starting in the same room, like I said. However, all other rooms will be locked during this time, meaning I will be opening back up the other rooms, like I said, at random times throughout the month. Once the next set of rooms are open, you will get to move on to the next room or prompt for a total of 9 prompts throughout the month. Once you have completed the prompt, you will submit your book using the Submit Books channel inside the Discord. Pretend your first room was the kitchen, and the prompt was to read a book that has baking in it, which it will not be that simple, my friends, and you read Blackberry Pie Murder. You would then fill out the submission form for that room, and you'd earn the points accordingly. Now, why did you need the deck of 2 cards at the beginning? Because new to this year, we are incorporating asking other teams for clues, just like we would in the traditional board game. Now, how is that going to look like? How this will work is I will have every team's name on a spinner wheel. Every time a round closes, I will spin the spinner wheel, and whatever team it lands on will get the chance to ask another team for an additional clue, and it will be phrased the following way: the blank in the blank with the blank. So person, weapon, room. The team that is asked must then decide as a team what to show them from their deck, the 2 cards that you were originally given at the beginning of the game. You can show them either of those, or you can show them a bonus clue that you received for winning a round if you have that in your possession. This will either give the questioning team an additional clue, one they didn't have, a repeated clue, one they unfortunately already had, or no extra clue if you weren't able to provide them anything. Now, I will remove that questioning team from the spinner wheel once they have been able to ask, ensuring that each team gets the chance to at least ask once during the readathon, and then the spinner wheel will reset, and some teams will end up getting more than one ask, but I can't really change that. There's only 9 rounds, and there's 6 teams. However, you will not want to get last place in the round, because instead of additional prompt punishments this year, because I'm not a big fan of making it harder on you, that was just too stressful, instead you're going to lose your chance to ask for additional clues for that round. So if your team is chosen by the spinner wheel after that initial round, and you were in last place, we will skip your round and we will spin again. And if your team has already been taken off the spinner wheel and you're like, oh, it's fine, we were already taken off, and you receive last place for a round, then your team will lose the clue that everyone usually receives at the end of that round, like the freebie clue that I give to everyone. Dun dun dun! So you don't want to get in last place. That's all I'm going to say. Now, you can earn points in the following way per book. You get it for the number of pages read. If your book is 340 pages, you receive 340 points. You get 100 points for any book that's written by a BIPOC author. You get 100 points for a book that's written by an LGBTQ plus author. You get 100 points for any murder mystery book, since Clue is a murder mystery game. And you get 100 points for a host favorite, which I have a graphic for that in the Discord. And you get 100 points for if the cover is primarily matching your team's color. So obviously, Colonel Mustard would be yellow, Scarlet would be red, green would be green, plum would be purple, peacock would be blue, and white would be white. Now, if you finish your book before the next room is unlocked, because there are us that are speed readers out there in the World Wide Wiz Web, there will be a spinner wheel of extra reading prompts this year of varying points. Some prompts are worth more than others. In order to make it a little more fun, you will spin the wheel to see what additional prompts that you can read while waiting for the next room to open. Each prompt will either give you 5, 10, or 15 additional points outside of the page count, but bonuses like BIPOC, LGBTQ, murder mystery, book, host favorites, and color do not count for extra book submissions. So it's just the page count number and the 5, 10, or 15 points. However, if you spin and you don't like the prompt that you're given, you can spin again, but for a price. Because every time that you choose to spin again, you must deduct 50 pages off of your book's page count when you're submitting. That is, of course, on the honor system. So if your book is 350 pages and you spin again because you didn't like the prompt you got, you can only submit for 300 points. So choose wisely in that regard. Now, here is a list of the additional prompts and their point values. Everything that is on that fun spinner wheel. For 5 points, we have a book with secrets or investigations, a book with a beautiful cover, a book with a party or fancy event, a book with food on the cover, a book with a competition element, a book with cozy vibe, a book with less than 5,000 ratings on Goodreads, a book with flora on the cover, a 2024 release, and a book on a bestseller list. Then for 10 points, we have a TBR veteran, a book with socialites or rich people drama, a book set in a small town, a book with morally gray characters, a book with a journey, a book with a door on the cover, a book with a number in the title, a book you could read in one sitting, a book that is part of a series, and a translated work. And for 15 points, we have a book with an academic setting, a book with mixed media, a book from a new-to-you author, a book with a recipe in it, a book with a primarily one-color cover, a book with a one-word title, a book you're nervous to read, a book with a busy cover design, a book set in the past or future, and a book over 500 pages. And the spinner wheel will be in the Discord. It's also underneath the video, and it's in the Google Doc with all the information that will also be provided underneath this video. Now, just saying really quick, a couple of housekeeping rules. DNFs only count if you read 51% of the book, and the manga rule is that one volume equals 100 pages, or you can read 3 volumes that meet that prompt for a total of 300 pages. Now, when it comes to solving the murder, every person that signs up for the readathon will have one chance to submit their guess as to the suspect, the weapon, and the room to solve the mystery. There will be a Google form released at the end of the competition. The team with the highest percentage of correct submissions will receive a large sum of points to be determined. Now, solving the murder is important, but so is reading as many books as you can in order to earn points for your team. However, you will not be able to submit your guess until you have completed 6 rooms or prompts if you are competing in the senior detective mode. Now, there will also be reading sprints every single day at some point, so be sure to check the Discord to see when they are, because I have a lot of hosts, so there's going to be reading sprints. We want to provide them for you as often as we possibly can. Now, let's talk a little FAQ before we get into the good stuff like the merch, the bookmarks, and all the other things that you're dying to know. So, what if I don't do well with competition? Join the junior detective mode. How many prompts do I have to complete for my team? You have to complete 6 prompts in order to guess the murder at the end. But if you want your team to win, it's important to read the book for your prompt as quickly as possible before the next room opens. Does this book count? Yes. If you think the book counts, count it. If you don't think it does, don't count it. If you wouldn't let someone else count it, don't count it. How long is the readathon? The readathon takes place all of February, from February 1st to February 28th. However, reading can begin as early as 12 p.m. EST on January 31st, and final book reading stops at 12 a.m. EST on March 1st. However, submissions will stop, like to catch up on your book submissions, will stop at 12 a.m. EST on March 2nd. Do DNFs count? Only if you read 51% of the book. How do you join a team? With the submission link under this video or in the Discord. The link can be found underneath this main readathon announcement. How do I submit books for the readathon? Using the submission form in the Discord. What happens if one team has way more members than another? Points will be averaged per person on the team. This is to make it as fair as possible. Sadly, there is no exact perfect way, but please remember, this really is just for fun. It's meant to help us read more and to have fun while doing it. Can a book I started in January but finished in February count? If you read most of the book in January, then no. If you read most of it in February, then yes. Please use discretion here. Can a book be a reread for us? Sure, why not? How do we receive clues for our team? After every round is over, your team will automatically receive a clue, but the winning team for each round will receive an additional clue, giving them an advantage. And then there's also the asking other teams for clues. What happens if I mess up my book in my submission form? Can I resubmit? No, and I will not be fixing anything for anyone, as that is going to require way too much work, so please make sure that you double check your submissions before you do them. And then as for host favorites, you can find all of the host's favorite books in a really beautiful graphic in the Discord that I will pop up right here so you can just see all of them. So take a screenshot if you need. It's in the Discord. It's in this rules document, okay? And as you will see, a lot of them did hit the BIPOC, LGBTQ, host favorites, all the things, because they want you to get as many points as possible while reading their books. Hence why I also went for that as well. Now, before I let you go, there are some important things we need to discuss, like merch things, which this is actually last year's shirt, which if you want that, you can still get it. It is in my shop, but we have new and refined merch, okay? This is the design for the new shirt. This is the new basic readathon shirt. And then we also have team shirts for each team. And so I'm just going to pop through them super duper quick. Here's the one for Mr. Green, da-da-da-da. One for Miss Scarlet, Miss Peacock, Professor Plum, Colonel Mustard, and Miss White. All I basically did was change out a weapon and make it the color in each one of them, but you know what? That works. So if you want your team shirt or you want the main readathon shirt, then you can get all the information in the Discord as well, and the bonfire link is also underneath here. I would recommend getting them before, I think it's the 20th or the 21st, so that it actually comes in towards the beginning of February. Otherwise, it's going to get pushed back to the middle of February, but that's up to you. And then we've got to talk about bookmarks. This year, I did design bookmarks, and we had a little snafu when it came to it. I submitted a little too close to Christmas, and because they're a UK company, they closed from like the 20th to the 2nd, and they didn't start working on my bookmarks until the 3rd, and then they didn't ship them until the 9th. And so I had to literally wait to release this video until I had the bookmarks in my hands, because I just thought to myself, if I say that there are bookmarks coming and I don't show them in this video, you are not going to get them. And I want you to have these bookmarks because they are nice. They have gold foiling on them. They are fantastical. So you're about to see a clip of Rainy showing you the bookmarks, and I am not in the same outfit, the same gear, all the things, because I am filming this way before that, okay? So bear with me. Here we go. All right, friends, it is a few days later and the bookmarks are here. So I wanted to show you them, okay? So let's go with the main logo for the readathon, okay? This is our beautiful Get a Clue bookmark. You have the little book and the man. So there's gold foiling on it. The back has literally just the logo, but just not foiled or anything. But like, this is it. I will also insert a picture so that you can see it a little bit better. But I'm so excited with how this came out. So this is the main logo bookmark that you could get. But then I also have logo bookmarks for each team. And basically I just took one of the weapons and put that at the top instead of the book with the question mark. So I'll show them all really quick as well. We have Miss Peacock. She has a little lead pipe moment. Miss Scarlet's got our revolver. Colonel Mustard's got the candlestick. Miss White's has the rope. Professor Plum has the wrench. And Mr. Green has the knife. With all of those, they will all be available in the Etsy shop. You can get like just the readathon logo, you could get just your team's logo, and then there will also be just a few available listings where you can get like the main logo and your logo, but like those are not going to be nearly as many. But those ones will be discounted, obviously, because you're buying two. So if you want to get your bookmarks, you better get them in. I didn't get that many because like I was sussing it out to see like how they do, but hopefully, you know, you all like the bookmarks. But I'm very excited about them. Oh, I just love them so much. I love the foil. I think it came out so well. So anyway, now remember, all of this information will be underneath this video, the bookmark listing, all of the things. So with that, let's get back to past training. And that, my friends, is Get a Clue 2.0. I hope that you are excited to do this readathon. I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have a magical, fantastical time. So make sure that you go underneath this video, you sign up. Please use the submission form, because that's also how I track how many people are on teams. I go based off what is in the Google submission form. Then go join your team on Discord. I can't wait to hear what you chose, why you chose. Get excited, build a TBR. I will say you're also going to want to make sure to watch my February TBR, because any book that I have on there will work for Clue in some way, and that will be a good idea for you to watch. Wink, wink, nod, nod, in order to get a head start for your team. So with that, friends, thank you for watching. Let me know if you got to the end of this. Let's put one of the murder weapons. You could put a gun, you could put a knife, you could put a sword, if they even have those things, a candlestick, whatever you can find. Drop a clue emoji under here. Let me know what team you're going to be joining. And I just want to say a quick thank you to all of my residents in my Patreon, friends themed Patreon, where we have a lot of fun, different activities, extra reading sprints, extra content, all things. If you're interested in that, you can always find it underneath my channel. And then follow me on all social media platforms at rainybluereads. And with that, my friends, hopefully I will see you inside of Get a Clue. But other than that, I will see you guys in a video very soon. And remember, there is a mystery afoot. Oh shit. Oh, the hat. Okay, one more time. Oh! Watson, it is a capital mistake to theorize before. Shit, I can't look over here.
You're looking...
I know! I just know it has to have been the maid, as she was always perpetually... Shit. Fighting with him about how perpetually tardy he is, and... I was not thinking about what he was saying. Holmes! That was bad. Holmes! It appears... Damn it! Hello? You just ruined my film. I'm filming as Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and I was doing the perfect cut of Watson. I was on the last line, and you called. It's fine. I'll call you back. Bye. How perpetually tardy he is, and...